What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JohnnyKpicks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC 304 Edwards versus Muhammad 2. Now, first things first, please hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new or if you just haven't yet. Turn on the notifications so you know when I put out my videos. It's a little later than usual this week. Also, you'll get notified when we go live on Wednesday nights. Leave some comments below how well you did at UFC Vegas 94, what fights you're looking forward to this card, and also check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. You can get all my early picks, all my early bets, all my cheat sheets, some free content in there, so you can join for free or join for $5.99 a month, become a core member. And yeah, so UFC Vegas 94, let's get right into it, and then we'll get into this UFC 304. So yeah, first fight of the night, Thomas the Train and or Jefferson Peterson beats Mohamed Usman. Usman's bad. Very bad. Very bad. I don't even know why I picked him. Regrets, but I will say I'm glad I didn't bet him. But that line was coming down. I was like this close. I was thinking about it, but he looked awful. He doesn't like to get hit. He doesn't even like to throw punches. He only throws a jab, and he's awful. So no more for him. No more Mo. Let's put it that way. Luana beats Lucy Pudilova. Great fight. I thought she did very well. She just threw more volume, landed the better shots all fight. Lucy didn't really look like she knew how to handle Luana, to be honest. So we'll see what happens with her in the future. I know 14-10 doesn't look all that great, but we'll see. I mean, she's not a bad fighter, but this was just a tough matchup for her. Trey Ogden beats Loic Radzhabov. Can't even say that name. Yeah, I had a bet on Luana. I forgot to say that, but I had a bet on Ogden as well. I just thought he had the better fight IQ going into this fight, and he clearly had the better fight IQ in the fight. Worked his takedowns. His grappling was better. He was able to hold down Loic for the majority of the time. It wasn't really striking. Loic was getting off the better shots when it was on the feet, I will say, but Trey was able to use Loic's aggression to get the takedown. So good win from Ogden. I thought he won all rounds, and I think he did. Miranda Maverick beats Dione Barboza. I mean, most of us knew this was probably going to happen. I just didn't think Miranda would look this good. She got the fight to the mat. She was able to be safe. She was doing pretty good with the striking, but she was having way more success on the mat. So I don't blame her going to the mat then. Good win from her. I know it was short notice for Barboza, but I mean, Miranda made it look easy. Cody Gibson versus Brian Kelleher. Cody gets that submission in the first round. Brian's chin's donezo. Unfortunately, it sucks when you see that. He's a I don't want to say he's a UFC solid journeyman veteran. But you can tell the writing is in the stars, if you want to say. I don't think he's going to be around for too much longer. If he does get one more fight miraculously, I mean, you can't pick against him or pick him, I should say, because he just doesn't have that chin. I mean, Cody was able to rock him and then get him down to the mat and get the submission. So he's got 9 submission losses in his career now. So crazy fight here. I actually went to the kitchen to get something, and I came back and I saw this fight was ended, but Hyder Emil was able to get to get the knockout in a minute, and it was a crazy like 30 seconds of combos, both guys throwing haymakers, but Emil was able to land the better shots, and the ref was able to stop it on the feet. Lee didn't actually like go out completely or anything like that, but Hyder for sure definitely got the win, so good win from him. Duho Choi versus Bill Algeo. The only fight I picked wrong for my bets. I had Bill Algeo in a parlay, but yeah, Algeo looked good early, and then the second round hit, and then everything just seemed to be different. Let's put it that way. Duho Choi was able to walk him down, be the bully, if you want to say, land the better punches, and then maybe he broke his orbital bone, Bill did, with one of the shots that Choi landed, which is why he went down. So good win from Choi. He got that win. I think it's his first win in 8 years, so long time coming. Crazy fight here. Bruno Silva versus Cody Durden. Again, this was one of the fights I really wanted to maybe potentially bet Cody Durden. He was at plus money right before the fights, but I decided to just walk away You don't have to bet every fight, and good thing I did because I would have been mad. But Bruno wasn't looking all that great in the first round. Cody was able to land some very good shots, actually drop him once. And then the second round hit, and Bruno was able to land a good uppercut and knock out Cody Durden. So good win from him. And yeah, it was a fun fight for sure. Holobal versus Kanan. Interesting fight. Both guys made some mistakes here and there, but Kurt was able to capitalize on more of the mistakes that Kanan did than Kanan was. So it went to decision. I kind of figured, it would go to decision. I had Kanan. I didn't bet this fight. The only bet that I really kind of wanted to do was Kurt Holobal finish, no action. So I would have got my money back if I did bet this fight. So either way, I didn't lose any money. So I didn't, like I said, I didn't bet this fight, but a good win from Holobal. Crazy fight for however long it lasted. Steve Garcia versus Choi. Steve Garcia looked like he was trying to be a little technical out there in the first minute, and then he just decided to say, you know what, F it. I'm just gonna go for the finish, and he got the finish. I like that's Steve Garcia in a nutshell. Had a pretty big bet on him. I was pretty confident in the week that he would get this one done. He got this one done. I just didn't trust Choi's chin as much as I trusted Steve Garcia's. And I knew if Steve Garcia made this a brawl, he would win the brawl. And he made a brawl and he won the brawl. So good win from him. I think it's his 4th knockout in a row. So that's pretty awesome. Crazy finish and sequence how to get that finish was Verna getting that sub on Amanda Lemos. I was weirdly confident all week that Verna was going to get this one done. I even wrote it or circled it as a green circle for Verna. I had some people like, how are you that confident on Verna? That's crazy. I'm like, man, I have a weird feeling. I will say, though, I didn't think it was going to be like that. But she pretty much dominated that whole fight. And she dominated the first round with her grappling. She did not strike for long, if any, at all. And Amanda couldn't stop the takedowns and couldn't get back up. And Verna with that crazy transition to get that submission, that was amazing. So she capped off a fantastic night for me for bets. My picks, no bueno. If you, I actually went 6-5 on my picks. But more importantly, for my bets, I had 6. I won 5 of them. The only one I missed, like I said, was the Aljo money line. I had him parlayed with Maverick, lost that, but I won the Verna bet, had a pretty decent sized bet, had Steve Garcia bet, which was the biggest bet of the night for me. Trey Ogden as a 1+130 underdog early in the week, Luana Carolina as a underdog early in the week, and then I had a little parlay of fight starts round 2 for the Holobal fight, and then Trey Ogden plus 3.5 spread because I was pretty confident that he would win at least one round if he did lose that fight. So ended up winning 5.67 units. So we are on a gravy train with biscuit wheels as of late. Last week, I won a little over 6 units. I think the week before that, I won about 3 or 4 units. So if I'm correct, I think I won the last 5 UFC cards, winning something at least. And I think the last 7 of 8 cards I've won. So we're doing good. We're on roll. We're going to keep it going. We're going to right into UFC 304. We have 14 fights, and some are good. Some are pretty going to be bangers. And then some are like, meh, what are you going to do? And before I get into the fights here, I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. You go ahead. What is going on with this poster? This actually like hurts my eyes. Whenever I see it, I'm just like, ooh, brother, ooh. And it's not great. Like, I don't like it. But that's just me. What do you think below? We'll go to the first fight. It's going to be Modestas Bukauskas versus Marcin Prachnio. And let me get down, scroll down like there, get my little notes up. But yeah, Bukauskas, solid striker. He likes to stay at range, which he does very well. Good kicks, a little low volume at times. But his last couple fights, he's looked like he's upped the volume a little bit. He's looking like he's coming forward a little bit more, being a little bit more aggressive. Sometimes he's a little bit hesitant. His takedown defense is pretty good. I don't think he's gonna have to worry about it in this fight, though. The only thing that's a little bit of a red flag is his chin. He's been knocked out 4 out of his 6 losses. He's been finished 5 out of his 6 losses too. So I think he's got a pretty decent amount of finishes as well on his record. I want to say it's like nine knockouts, 2 subs. So he's a finisher and he can also get finished. But Marcin, he's a solid striker. He's got good power. His cardio can be a little bit of an issue. In his last fight against Devin Clark, it looked a little bit better, I will say. But if you go back before that, everything he just slows down a little bit as the fight goes on. His takedown defense isn't all that great. Now, will Bukauskas shoot for some takedowns? Maybe we could see that. His chin sometimes is a little questionable. I wouldn't say it's as questionable. He's been knocked out 4 out of his 7 losses. And yeah, so this is the thing in a nutshell is like both guys are kind of like kill or be killed fighters. I would say Prachnio is a little bit more dangerous early and he fades. And I would say Bukauskas is a little bit, he's dangerous early, obviously, but I think he can get the finish later in the rounds. I don't know more so about Prachnio, but I'm going to go with the younger guy here that I think is going to be a little bit better at range. I just need to be a little bit worried if Prachnio wants to come in and try to start a brawl, if you want to say. So give me Bukauskas to win. I'm going to say by, this is probably going to be one of those fights where it goes to decision for some stupid reason because both these guys, like I said, are kill or be killed. But I'm going to go with a knockout, probably second or third round. But like I said, I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if this does go to decision. It's one of those fights you're like, I thought this was going to be a knockout in the first round, but nope, it goes to decision. But maybe the over 1.5 could be a good look too if it's set at 1.5. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. This fight's not really jumping out at me to pick a side or bet a side. Next one, speaking of fights that don't stick out at all, picking a side or anything, we got Shauna Bannon versus Alice Ardelean. I'll say Alice. But Bannon, solid. She's an okay striker. I don't even say solid. Okay striker that pushes forward. She's not very technical. She just kind of wings her shots a little loopy. She is pretty durable. She's pretty strong in the clinch. She does have some wrestling she can use, but she hasn't really showed it off in her last fight against Brasil. She should have. She hasn't really fought the best competition. She's only got 6 fights in her pro career. Very green fighter, if you want to say. And Alice, she's making her UFC debut. She is taking this fight on short notice. Shauna was supposed to fight somebody else. I believe it was Ravina Oliveira, if that's her name. I think it was. But she's an okay fighter. She's fought a lot of low-level competition on the regional scenes as well. Her striking is pretty decent. She is a finisher. She's got 4 submission wins and 4 knockouts. She's durable though. She always pushes forward. And yeah, she's one of those like finish or lose by decision kind of fighters. So she's probably going to go for it in the beginning of the fight and then we'll see what happens. But I'm just going to go with Bannon. I'm staying far away from this fight. The only reason why basically I'm picking Bannon is because she has a full camp. And I'm not completely sold on Alice, even though I'm not even completely sold on Bannon either. But hometown cooking with Bannon, and maybe this fight goes to decision, close split decision. Maybe she gets the nod from the hometown crowd, if you want to say. So, give me Bannon to win by a sloppy decision. This fight, you could probably just stay away because no bueno. Next one, Sam Patterson versus Kiefer Crosbie. Sam Patterson's a solid striker with power. He's very long, lanky. He does have sneaky submissions, a sneaky guillotine especially. His striking defense isn't all that great. He likes to keep his head up, and he kind of has that tall man defense, if you want to say, but he can get hit and he can get cracked. His head really doesn't move all that much, but he can be taken down a little easy, but luckily for him in this fight, I don't think he's going to have to worry too much because Kiefer Crosbie is mainly a boxer, pretty decent striking with power. He can be a little too aggressive sometimes, but and get clipped, but he does, like I said, good power. He can be hittable on the feet, and that's really about it. He doesn't check leg kicks. Like, he's literally a boxer going in there. And obviously the better MMA fighter is going to be Sam Patterson. So I'm picking him to win. I'm going to say by submission, first or second round. I think Sam can take the back of Kiefer, and Kiefer has no ground game whatsoever. Kevin Josette was able to get a rear naked choke on him 10 months ago. I think Sam Patterson has better submissions than Kevin. So yeah, wouldn't be shocked one bit though if Crosbie lands a straight right down the middle and knocks out Sam Patterson, because that's what happened in his first fight in the UFC. But he looked better against Johan Leonesi. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I think Johan's a little bit better than Kiefer. And Patterson, I'm going to say Patterson I'll just say finish. But if I had to pick one, I think submission. I think that's going to be his easiest path to victory because Crosbie is pretty tough. So next one's going to be Elliott versus Preston Parsons. Get this stuff out of here. Get out of here. Elliott is a well-rounded fighter. He's not very dangerous. He's got solid striking. He's got okay wrestling and takedowns. He's got good cardio. He's pretty durable. But he's just, like I said, the one thing about him, like everything checks off the boxes, if you want to say, but he's just not that dangerous of a fighter. He always makes fights close. But Preston Parsons, though, very good grappler. He's got very good submissions, good takedowns. His striking is just okay. Kind of just throws one punch at a time, like one jab, no combos really. His cardio is pretty decent. He's tough, he's durable, he's gonna stay in there for all 3 rounds, but definitely going to be the better grappler here. On the feet, maybe you could favor Elliott, but he's, like I said, he's not dangerous enough for me. So I favor Parsons here. I do think he's going to be able to get the takedowns. I think he'll be able to keep it close on the feet if he can't get some takedowns, but I think he's going to be the bigger guy here, even though he's like 1 inch smaller. But I think he's going to be like the more muscular guy, the stronger guy. And I do think he's going to be able to get those takedowns. Wear on Oban and go for that submission. I mean, maybe he might not get it, maybe he does, but give me Parsons to win. I think Elliott's been knocked out twice. Yeah, he's been knocked out twice. He's never been submitted, but I can guarantee you he's probably never fought a grappler like Preston. And I'm not saying Preston's the next Charles Oliveira by any means, but he's a grinder. And he's just going to grind you on the mat and try to go for that submission. So give me Preston to win by submission. I'm going to say submission again, 2nd or 3rd round, but we'll see what happens. And it's not a bad price. Minus 160. I like it. Next one, Mick Parkin versus Lucas Brzeski. And Mick Parkin, well-rounded guy for a heavyweight. He's got solid takedowns. He's got good volume on the feet. He's got a good jab. He's got good power. He's durable. Pretty good cardio. He showed the cardio in the Mo Usman fight where he looked good. He took that fight on short notice and clearly beat him. He looked good in the Caio Machado fight. He was able to get some takedowns. Jamal Pogues, like all these guys, they go 3 rounds. He's won each of them by decision. So he's showing the cardio, showing the toughness, showing the durability. He's fighting pretty good competition in the UFC for a heavyweight. Let's put it that way. Lucas Brzeski, he's got okay striking. He can wrestle sometimes, but he hasn't really done that in the UFC. His takedown defense is awful. He is pretty durable. I'll give him that, but his cardio fades as the fight goes on. I personally believe he did not beat Walter Walker, but that was a very close fight. Walker was able to get him down numerous times, and I don't think Walter is that good as good as Mick Parkin is for that. But I will give him some credit because I do think he beat Martin Buday. But it is what it is. He got that win back. Good for him. But all day, every day, Mick Parkin here. I am one of my most confident picks. I know this is a lower level heavyweight fight, but there are levels in lower level heavyweight fight. And Mick Parkin is way better than Brzeski. So give me Parkin to win. Wouldn't shock me if it's by decision. Wouldn't shock me if it's by a submission, by a finish. I think he can win any way you think. I just don't think Brzeski's going to win at all. I don't know where he's better. He's going to be the smaller fighter as well. Mick Parkin's going to have that like 20, 25 pound advantage too. So it's going to be crazy when he gets on top of him. So I'll say by decision, but like I said, one of my most confident picks on the card is Mick Parkin for sure. Next one's going to be Loughran versus Jake Hadley. This fight is gonna be at bantamweight. Jake Hadley is a flyweight. He's taking this fight on short notice, and probably like 2 or 3 days ago, I think this fight was announced. So very, very short notice. But Loughran, okay striker. He's got good power in his hands. He's a little hittable on the feet. He's not really the most technical guy. He throws a lot of like overhands and looping hooks and stuff like that. He doesn't really have those straights right down the middle. But he does have pretty good wrestling, good takedowns. He's very strong when he's on top too. Obviously, he's going to be the bigger fighter, probably the stronger guy too as well. Like I said, Jake Hadley on short notice, but he's also well rounded. He's got pretty good boxing, actually, very technical. He can fade as the fight goes on with his cardio. He is like I said, coming up to bantamweight here. So the one thing with him though is like his takedown defense is not good, like at all. But he's very good off his back. He's got very good BJJ, very good submissions, but he's almost too comfortable when he's on his back, and that's always it's going to lose you minutes, and unless he gets a submission, obviously. But I'm going to go with Loughran. Mainly because I think he can get takedowns. I think he can control Hadley. He's going to have to be careful with triangles, with arm bars, with guillotines and stuff like that. But if he can do that, I think he can win this fight 100%. He should be able to get Jake Hadley down pretty much anytime he wants. Now on the feet, I do favor Hadley, but I think Loughran can mix in those takedowns and maybe land some good shots on Jake and just wear him down a little bit. And we've seen Jake kind of like, I don't want to say quit, but like check out a little bit when he's not doing well. He did that in the Charles Johnson fight a little bit. And, the Cody Durden fight was a very good fight. I was there live to see. He had Cody in some really bad spots, and Cody was able to get out. So, but again, like the short notice thing is going to be a crazy thing for him up a weight class. So, give me Loughran to win. I'm going to say by decision, and we'll go from there. I mean, I don't know what the lines are. Oh, minus 195. That's not bad. But if I had to, on paper, I would say Hadley is the better fighter, but styles make fights, and I think Loughran should win this one, anyways. Molly McCann versus Bruna Brasil. We all know who Meatball Molly McCann is. She's a pretty solid striker. She likes to push forward. She's kind of a bully a little bit. She's got okay takedowns in wrestling if she decides to use them. Likes to throw those spinning elbows and all this back fists, all that good stuff. She is pretty durable. She doesn't have a good ground game at all, but luckily for her, she doesn't have to worry too much about that. But Bruna, very good striker. She's got very good kicks. Her takedown defense isn't all that great. But she does have decent grappling, and she does have a pretty good get up game. The one thing I don't like about Bruna though is when she's on her back foot, she's not good at all. So if someone's coming at her and pushing her back, she seems to not do well. She's better when she's the one pushing forward. But Molly McCann is going to be pushing forward, and Bruna is going to be going backwards. So going with Molly McCann here, I do think she can get some wrestling going. I think she can land some pretty good shots. Molly's going to be a little bit shorter with a little bit of less reach advantage here, but I think Molly's going to land the harder shots. I think she can push through. And like I said, I think wrestling here would be a good thing for Molly. And Bruna's striking defense isn't all that great either, but I'm going to say Molly wins by decision again. But Bruna has a chance to win this fight, but she's got to push forward. If she's going to be getting pushed back this whole fight, you'll see it immediately. She's not going to win. So I could probably tell in the first 2 or 3 minutes who's going to win this fight. That's like immediately. So, but give me Molly McCann. I'll say by decision. Next one, Nathaniel Wood versus Daniel Pineda. And Wood is a very technical boxer. Good leg kicks, solid wrestling and grappling, good cardio. He is durable, but he does get rocked and get knocked down, but he gets back up again because you're never going to keep him down. He's a little small for the division, I will say, because he is normally a bantamweight, but this is a fight where he's going to be approximately the same against Daniel Pineda. And he is super dangerous early. He's basically round one. He is dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous on the mat. He's got very good submissions. But once round two hits, he fades and he fades and he fades and he fades and he can get finished. Sometimes he kind of checks out a bit as well. I think if Nathaniel Wood can survive round one, he wins this fight by finish, rounds 2 or 3. And I like that bet a lot. If you go on FanDuel, you can do Nathaniel Wood rounds 2 or 3, maybe by KO. I think that's going to be a good play here. I think round 1 is going to be a little crazy, but I'm going to say Wood survives. And I think he gets to finish. I'm going to say third round knockout and maybe a submission, but like I said, I'll go with the knockout. I don't think Nathaniel has too many submissions on his resume. He got 6. Crap. I didn't even know that. When was his last one? It's been a while. 2019. Well, I guess his last knockout was a while too. So, yeah, either way, like I said, maybe Nathaniel by finish might be the better bet. See what that's at. But yeah, give me Wood to win by finish. I'm not trusting one round of Daniel Pineda in this fight anyways. And I like Nathaniel Wood. I think he's a solid fighter. Actually, I really like watching him. So featured prelim, it's gonna be Muhammad Mokaev. Why did I just click his name? Muhammad Mokaev versus Manel Kape if he is able to make weight. I don't know, man. He's one of those guys that just seems like he just never can make weight, but we'll see. Mokaev, we all know who he is. He's a very good wrestler, more so like a chain wrestler. He's got good takedowns, good cardio, solid grappling with good submissions. His striking is improving. He actually looked like his striking was pretty good in that Alex Perez fight in the first round. And then he just wrestled the rest of the way. Apparently he had staph infection, so he was tired, and that's all he did the rest of the way. He won that fight, I guess, but it is what it is. But he's one of the better prospects in the flyweight division. But this is a huge step up in competition for him. Manel Kape, very, very good striker. He's very explosive. He's got dangerous power in his hands. He can wrestle and grapple if need be, but I would say he's probably not going to. He's probably going to keep it on the feet. He's durable. At times he can be a little low volume, but lately he has not been low volume if he ever can fight and doesn't miss weight. And yeah, he seems to be going for it more, seems to be going for the finish more. He's not making fights close like he did early in his UFC career. That's why he's got 4 wins in a row instead of 2 losses, but he's fought very good competition. Not as of late, but earlier he fought Pantoja. He fought Mateus Nicolau when Nicolau was actually on his little run. But yeah, this is a close fight, and I can see both guys have their advantages to win. Obviously, Mokaev needs to wrestle and grapple, and Kape needs to keep this fight standing where he's going to be the more explosive guy for sure. So, what do I want to do? I'm rolling the dice. I usually pick Mokaev, but I'm going to go with the better striker who's a little bit more dangerous, and I'm going to go with Kape to win. I think he can crack Mokaev, maybe do the more damage throughout the whole fight. Maybe he gets taken down a few times. Maybe Mokaev gets some control on him, but as we've seen in the Alex Perez fight, especially the last 2 rounds, all he did was push him up against the cage basically and did nothing. I don't think that's going to work out this time too much. And I think Kape's going to be able to land more damage for sure on the feet. And, Kape's get up game is actually pretty decent too. So give me Kape to win. I'm going to say by decision, but it wouldn't shock me if Mokaev wins and just out wrestles and grapples him for 3 rounds either. But this is a big step up in competition for him. This is a different style of fighter for Manel Kape. Manel Kape's never really fought a all-out wrestler. It's more so been like a either well-rounded fighter or just striker. So, but I just don't think it's as big of a step up than Mokaev. This is Mokaev by far. I thought Alex Perez was a big step up for Mokaev. He barely won that fight. So give me Kape to win by decision. We got the main card, Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. And Allen, well-rounded fighter, very good striking, decent power in his hands. He can mix in some wrestling here and there. Solid takedown defense. He's durable. He's got very good cardio. Always pushes forward. Um, even though he did lose the Max Holloway fight, he was able to out Max Holloway in the 5th round. Like, he was still coming forward. Arnold Allen, and I liked what I saw from that. That was very good. He did lose against Masvidal, but that was even a fun fight too. These are very good guys. I think this is a little step down from some of the fighters that Arnold's been fighting, but Giga, he's always going to be dangerous. He's a very good kickboxer. He does have good, very good kicks. Obviously, the Giga kick, good body kick. He doesn't really have the greatest takedown defense. He doesn't wrestle though. He's going to keep it on the feet, and he can be a little hittable. And as the fight goes on, his volume starts to slow down a bit. He's not as dangerous as he was in the 1st round, and he hasn't really fought in a while. The last time he's fought was 10 months. So I know he got injured. I think there was something in between those 2 fights. So going with Arnold Allen, I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. I do think he's durable enough to survive Giga's kick, and I do think Arnold's going to use some wrestling and grappling here, and I do think he's going to be successful doing so. There's no reason to keep this fight on the feet, especially early. You should be able to wear out Giga early with those takedowns and grappling, and probably just win a decision because, like I said, Arnold Allen's really not all that dangerous, but he can knock you out, and Giga is pretty durable. The Calvin Kattar fight, I mean, if you go back and watch that was insane. I don't understand how he survived, to be honest, because Calvin was pummeling him with elbows, step-in elbows, all that good stuff, and Giga was still coming for, like, he was still standing up. But give me Arnold Allen to win by decision. I just think he's the better overall, well-rounded fighter to win. Next one, Christian Leroy Duncan versus Gregory Rodrigues, RoboCop. And Duncan's a well-rounded guy, more so a striker. Has got that weird, unorthodox kind of striking, like a little bit of a karate style, if you want to say. He does have pretty decent power in his hands. He can be a little hittable on the feet, though. He can wrestle if need be, which he probably won't in this fight. He hasn't really fought the greatest competition in the world, but he has, he lost to Armin Petrosian, pretty good striker. And these guys that he won, he should have been beating. So good win from him. And that Dushko fight, you can't really even count that. Gregory Rodrigues, though, well-rounded guy himself. He's got powerful hands. He's durable, very tough. He does have some good wrestling and grappling, but that can slow him down in the later rounds if he does wrestle and grapple a lot. He can be a little hittable at times as well, but he packs a punch. I think he's going to have the more power in this fight, and maybe Christian's a little bit more technical with the speed on the feet too, but I do think Gregory can mix in some wrestling. I'm not saying he should do a wrestle heavy game plan, but if he mixes in here and there, I think he can win the minutes and win the rounds if they're close. And I do think he lands harder. So give me Rodrigues, the underdog here, or slight underdog, whatever it is now. And yeah, this is going to be a close fight, though. I'm not like super confident. I'm not running to the book here to bet Gregory with all of my winnings from last week, but I like him to get this one done, going with the more dangerous guy, I believe. So give me Rodrigues. I'll say 1st or 2nd round knockout. Why not? I think someone's going to get it. Next one's going to be Bobby Green versus Patty, the baddie, Pimblett. So Bobby Green, or King Green, if you want to say now, because I think he changed his name. He's a high volume boxer, very good jab, very quick hands, if you want to say. He does have pretty good power in his hands. He did get a knockout in one of these fights. It was Grant Dawson. Did not look good against Jalen Turner, but that was a weird fight all in all. He was able to, I don't know how he didn't finish Jim Miller, because Jim Miller's a dog, but he had some good shots on Jim Miller. But he does have pretty decent wrestling if he uses it. He doesn't really use it all that much. Pretty decent takedown defense, pretty good get-up game. He's safe on the ground if this fight does get to the mat. But on the feet, he's just a volume machine. Paddy Pimblett, very good grappler. He's durable. His striking isn't the most technical. He can slow down as the fight goes on. His takedowns aren't all that great. He does have power in his hands, though, if he does land, and he can take a shot to give a shot. And if he does take the back, though, he's very good at rear naked chokes. So, like I said, I think he's a better grappler. He is working on his striking a little bit more. But man, in that last fight against Tony Ferguson, was not good. I know. I think maybe his leg was injured or something like that, or his ankle or something, or a foot, whatever it was during that fight. But if you're not finishing Tony Ferguson, that is not a good look. Jared Gordon again. I don't think debatable if he won. I could debate that route. I could debate that whole fight, but I'm not going to. So I mean, the fighters that he's beating. I mean, it doesn't really make me want to run and jump and go bet him either. But I'm gonna go with Bobby Green to win. I'm gonna say by decision. I just think he's gonna land the better shots overall. I think he's gonna be able to stay safe if this fight does get to the mat. I think he can work himself back up. But like I said, if Patty can take the back, I don't think Bobby's gonna be able to get up. So on the feet, give me Bobby Green all day for sure. He's gonna be able just to jab him to death. And I don't think there's gonna be a finish at all. So you can look at the over 2.5 in this fight. Maybe look Bobby Green round 3 or decision prop, something like that. Or if you like Patty sub or decision, I think that's a good look too. So yeah, this is gonna be a pretty decent fight, but I'm just gonna go with the experience of Bobby Green here. Co-main event, we got Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes 2. Yes, I'm going to say this one more time. I was so sad the last fight when they fought because I jumped on Tom Aspinall plus 135 or range or so. He was an underdog, which that line completely flipped by the time that they fought. 15 seconds later, that bet was up in flames because he got hurt. But this is the rematch, if you want to say. But Aspinall is a very well-rounded heavyweight. He's got power in his hands. He's very explosive. He's got like quick hands. He does have pretty good wrestling and grappling himself. But I think he should use more wrestling and grappling, honestly, that he does. But he's getting away with it. He's pretty good. So Curtis Blaydes, also pretty good guy. He's a really good wrestler with very good takedowns, explosive takedowns, very solid striking. He's got good boxing. He's got power in his hands. His chin can be a little dusty at times, but he's getting knocked out to guys that can crack. But guess what? Tom Aspinall can crack. Like, I'm not saying maybe he has Sergey Pavlovich power, but he knocked out Sergey Pavlovich. So that tells you something right there. Again, I picked Tom Aspinall in his last fight. I'm going to pick Tom Aspinall again, but I don't like this line. Minus 400, I'm sorry, makes me sick to my stomach because I had him at plus 130 last time. So I don't think this line, I think the line is super wide. I think Aspinall should be like minus 200 at the very most because Curtis Blaydes is no joke. Like, it's dog or pass all day right here. But for my pick, I'm going with Tom Aspinall. I think he's way quicker on the feet with his hands. And if he lands a couple good shots on Curtis, I think he'll put him out. So Tom Aspinall by knockout is going to be my pick. I'll say second or probably, I'm going to say first round. Tom Aspinall doesn't like to get into the second round. So give me Tom Aspinall first round knockout. Main event, we got Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad 2. We all remember the first fight, what happened. Leon Edwards was looking very good the whole round until he put his finger in Bilal's eye, and then it was a no contest. But Edwards is a very good striker, very good kickboxer. He's got good kicks. He can wrestle. He's probably not going to. He does have good cardio. He can slow down a little bit with his volume, but he's very tough. He's going to stay in there for all 5 rounds. Bilal Muhammad, well-rounded guy, pretty solid striking. He's not really dangerous on the feet. I know he got that knockout against Sean Brady, which was crazy, but he is, not the greatest finisher. So if you like Bilal Muhammad, just play him by decision more times than not. But he is very durable. He does have good cardio. He's a very smart fighter. He's gonna take what his opponents give him. So he's probably gonna mix in some takedowns in this fight. try to strike with Leon until Leon is comfortable on the feet, and then he's going to shoot a takedown. So doesn't matter for me. I'm going with Leon Edwards. I just think he's the more dangerous guy. He's going to be better on the feet. I think he can stuff the takedowns. He might get taken down a couple times, maybe once in the first, once in the fourth round or something crazy like that. But Bilal's takedowns aren't all that great, to be honest. He does have to work for them. And if he does get them, you know, he can keep you down, but he's gonna have to work for this one. And if Usman wasn't able to take down Leon a lot, I mean, he took him down a couple times, but I don't think Bilal's gonna have a crazy amount of success. He's gonna have to work very hard for that. So Leon Edwards by decision is gonna be the pick. I can maybe see a fourth or fifth round finish. I do think this fight goes into the championship rounds at the very least, but I just think Edwards is a little bit better than Belal Muhammad. Even with Belal, waiting for a year to get a title shot against Gilbert Burns, who got hurt in that fight and still couldn't finish Gilbert Burns when he was hurt. His shoulder was hurt. He only had one arm. Either way, give me Leon Edwards again by decision. But that is it. That is all 14 fights for UFC 304. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And please hit that like button for me and leave some comments below. It helps the algorithm out. Definitely be sure to check out the Defend Your Units live show where we go over all of our picks and bets. Yet again, I'm going to have a special guest on Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So again, turn on the notifications so you know when that comes up. And good luck to everybody. Good luck to everybody in their bets and their picks. Hope we have some good fights this time. And until next time, happy